I've shared the opinion of a low-tier player on Destiny 2 PvP, me, and I've also asked the opinion of somebody who's pretty middling at the game, just your average Joe. So I guess it's high time that I probably ask the opinion of somebody who's actually good at PvP. If you're not familiar with this series already, I've been going through different skill brackets in Destiny 2's PvP scene to ask their opinions and how they feel on the game, to hopefully get the full picture of the actual community consensus instead of just going through the hellfire on Twitter. In today's video, I'll be interviewing HAXX'S, a trials grinder and a voice controls enthusiast. If you want to know where HAXX'S lives, here's his Twitter. And yeah, he pretty much only has Twitter, so go follow that. Once again though, if you're not familiar with these videos, they're not my typical style. These are more podcast-ish, where I just interview the player and then I'll give my thoughts and opinions at the end. So if you just want to skip to that for some reason, weirdo, there's a timestamp. But other than that, let's get right into it. Mr. HAXX'S himself, please introduce yourself, what you do, what you've been doing, and all that fun stuff.
Hi, yeah, I'm HAXX'S. That is me. I am him. I post random stuff on Twitter just for memes, laughs, fun. Outside of Twitter and Destiny, I actually do computer repair. Actually, I haven't really announced it yet, but I guess here we go. I landed an interview over at Stennis Space Center with NASA, hoping to get a nice job over there.
So, how would you describe your general skill level in PvP?
I would say I'm a little bit above average. There are some days, I feel like I'm just absolute bottom of the barrel. My main problem is consistency. I feel like that's keeping me where I am, because I'm not consistent at everything. I will beat, players that are better than me, and I know they're better than me. I just happen to outperform them on this specific day, but they are way more consistent than I am. So I would place myself in the above average bracket, not necessarily the top 0.1% or the big 2 KD club, but the bracket below.
So what percentage of your playtime is PvP? So, it doesn't have to be exact, obviously.
I would say a good 70%. Although recently I've been playing a little bit more PvE, you're doing all the raids and such, but a lot of the times I will just boot up the game and farm out some quick play, and maybe some competitive, but not much.
Quick play is your favorite pastime?
Yeah, I've been really enjoying Supremacy. A little bit of a fresh matchmaking parameters, and just having a good time trying out different weapons.
Yeah, Supremacy is, I think, the best thing they added in the Guardian games pretty unanimously.
Oh, 100%. It's definitely made it my favorite Guardian games that they've done. Just Supremacy alone has done it.
I hope that becomes a permanent game mode, honestly, because, man...
Even if it's a weekly rotator, I wouldn't mind it.
We need to educate the children on how to pick up the octagons, though. It is not that hard. You just walk over them. You touch them.
I had so many games where I'm picking up like 70+ crests, and it's... people pick up like 5 or 6, but they have all the kills in the world. Like, are you kidding me?
Anyways, what is your favorite loadout or weapon to use in the game? This can be all time, this can be just, this season. The thing where you're having the most fun when you're using it.
It was a niche loadout at the time, and I haven't used it in actually years, literally years. I had so much fun with it. It was Cerberus and Beloved. It wasn't that Cerberus. It was in that first starting spot where it was like, okay, this gun is so cool. And people tried it out. I was like, wow, this is actually so bad. But I don't know. I found I enjoyed it. I slayed out with it. I had my Beloved. Everyone loved Beloved. Aim assist.
Beloved,
it was great.
Yeah.
Other than that, I used Beloved and Chaperone for a while. In quick play, when double, you could get more than one special ammo per brick. I would run that, and it actually really helped me aim, surprisingly enough, because both of them are precision-based weapons. One's close range, one's far range, and I spiked up my headshot ratio a lot during that like month and a half I used that. Those two were the most fun I've had, and then recently I started using Cloud Strike, and Cloud Strike. It's fun.
Yeah, it's Cloud
It's
Strike hard.
satisfying. Yeah.
Point and click. Well, on the flip side of that, what is your least favorite loadout or weapon to play against? So, yeah, I think I know what's going to be the answer here, but the least favorite, when you face it, you go,
If I see a Monarque, I want to tear a new one into them. I want to make sure they never launch the next game. I want to make sure they feel it months away. That there's too much utility behind it for me to say that it's remotely skillful. I'm sorry, bow lovers. I'm sorry, Monarque lovers, but like I know so many people that use it and main it that are like, yeah, this thing is pretty nuts. It's wild. How has this gone on for this long? The tick damage, it goes on for so long. It takes you out the fight. Infinite ammo. It's basically a sniper with infinite ammo, and it's just annoying to face. Not to mention you can build craft with it. Yes, you put on Ophidians or Oath Keepers. You can hot swap. You can put it on Lucky Pants and swap to another hand cannon. Different things like that. Or if you're on a Titan, you can put on Peacekeepers and swap to a SMG, like a Mortal, and just absolutely shred someone with minimal effort. Almost as minimal effort as Jotun.
the toaster. Do you dread the toaster?
I do. I do. There's some things in the game that are annoying to face, but not dreadful to face, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I hear a Bastion pre-charging, it's like different sound effects, right? That are like, oh my god, he's really doing that. There's, if I hear, 3 Immortals on the enemy team firing at once, obnoxious, right? Not saying I'm hating them for it, it's just an obnoxious sound. Hearing a Jotun get fired off, I hate that sound so much because of what it used to do. Yep, exactly.
There's guns that are frustrating to play against, but there's also just the general gameplay. And this is one of the last negative questions, but what frustrates you most about PvP, the game mode itself? Not necessarily, guns and metas and all, because we can talk about how bad the Monarque and the Toaster are right now. But PvP as a whole, like as a game mode, what frustrates you most about it?
Perhaps not the most frustrating thing, but it's something that frustrates me the most, is the generalization. This is like kind of not in the game mode, but about the game mode. It's the generalization that good players don't want lesser skilled players, because I don't want to say bad players, because perhaps they're not bad, they just don't know things. Lesser skilled players to succeed. And I feel like that's a common misconception. While some people may say, well, I'm a good player and I want people to succeed, people don't see that. People only see the negative, because when someone is passionate about something, it's either really good or really bad. And that's the only things you hear. Take a political news radio, right? If someone's calling in to say something on the radio, it's either going to be completely for something or completely against something. And they're going to be so passionate about it. It's going to be one way or the other. I feel like it's the same with PvP. Someone I saw recently on Twitter, someone commented under Bungie's post, show us a clip from Guardian Games, right?
Oh, I remember.
And they posted a clip, and they thought it was amazing, and they were happy about it. A lot of people underneath that, and quote retweeted, they flamed him for it.
Yeah.
I think people should, you can have different opinions, but it was amazing to him. That is something that he's not normally capable of doing, perhaps, and he was proud of it. Let him have his moment, He was proud enough to show it to the world. I say let him. But those people going there that hate on him, why would he ever want to be part of the PvP community? Because that's not what it's really all about. The PvP community, there's so many good people in there that just want to help others get better so that they can, maybe even spread tips and tricks to other people, get more people into the game, have a healthy player base. I would say that's one of my biggest frustrations with PvP as a whole. Like, it's not even within the game at that point. It's the actions and behavior outside of the game.
I remember seeing that clip on Twitter and just being like, in Destiny players are just, they're just, I can't understand it. It's how they just go after somebody for something that they didn't even think they were doing anything wrong.
Yeah, they just posted a clip. While I personally may not see this as one of the best clips in the world, or as particularly as amazing, I'm still happy for him that he achieved something that he's not normally able to do. He went out of his way, like he popped off in his skill level, right?
Yeah.
For him to do that, it's the same equivalency of me popping off in my skill bracket, right? It's the same effort. He's putting in all of his effort. He got a clip. Kudos to him.
Yeah, you mentioned the positive side, but what do you like most about PvP?
It's honestly the reason why I just like PvP games as a whole. It's the satisfaction of being better than someone else that is better. Like outplaying someone that I know is really, really good and above me. Like if I'm facing, I'm the underdog. I love a good underdog story. I love the underdog stuff. If I'm going in, I'm facing a 3-stack of these streamers or known teams. I go in there and I get a team wipe on them. That's so satisfying because I know that I either outsmarted them, outplayed them, or did something that made me able to win. Yeah. And that just keeps me going no matter whether the meta's bad, community's bad. I just like being the better person in that case.
Yeah, even if you get lucky, and even if it's just complete luck and you just somehow manage to pin them all in a corner and hit one lucky rocket shot.
One cloud strike shot that shouldn't have hit. Oh, it still feels just as good.
Yeah, it still feels amazing.
I've had plenty of those, It's like, I know I should not have hit that, but you know what? I did, and I'm going to take that. I'm going to feel good about myself for hitting that.
Overall, the game, what kind of state would you describe PvP being in? So this can be, it's great, it's fine, it's bad, it's horrible, I hate playing it. It's kind of in between somewhere. This could be community-wise, game-wise, whatever you want to talk about.
I say that it's gonna feel like opposite end of the spectrums here, but I feel like it's absolutely terrible right now. But just a couple minor changes, and it could be one of the best PvP experiences gaming has to offer, in my opinion. They have to start with matchmaking, in my opinion. They have to get these matchmakings down. I was just playing Trials earlier, and I'm facing people across the world. Their connections were absolutely terrible. And yeah, sure, I won the game. It didn't feel good, though. I know I'm teleporting on their screen. They're teleporting on my screen. It sucks. It's not enjoyable for the winner or the loser. Having a stable connection has to be some kind of priority in this kind of game, especially with the peer-to-peer connections. It has to be. You take a look at rubber band meleeing, right? You slap on Synthosaps or you slap on Ophidians.
Oh, I know Ophidians Warlocks. I know several.
It's not the user. It's not even. Sure, it's some of the exotic, right? But it's also the connections. It's just how the game is and what it's built off and what it's run on. And I'm not going to claim I know development stuff. I know a little bit of devs, but I don't know enough to just say, oh well, they should do this, and if they do that, then this will. I don't know enough. I will say a priority has to be, for their next game or Destiny 3, whatever's in the future, right? To have better connection stability. That would be one of the biggest. If you do that, even skill-based matchmaking will feel a little bit better. Just a little bit. It still sucks. It'll still feel a little bit better if connections are good. Because I'm not going to be the top 10 players, right? If I'm in the top 10 players across the world, that's across the world. There's 6 people in a competitive match, right? We all match each other. That's a lot of distance between each other to try to have a stable connection. Number 12, right? He can easily face number 1 just as well as number 10 can. Number 25 can face number 12 just as number 1 can face number 12, right? They all same skill level. 25 versus number 1. You're broadening the matchmaking. Right, you shouldn't have these tiny, tiny closed brackets. I shouldn't be constantly seeing the same names just because they're, quote, in the same skill bracket. Because sometimes they're not even in the same skill bracket. Sometimes they're just miles better. And it's very frustrating. Especially in competitive with the nowadays minus 200 points on losses that you were kind of doomed to to lose. And then you slay out your next match. It was a real gutter match, and you're getting +5, +30. It takes a lot to work up from a loss, which I don't think it should be that way. Some people maybe they do think that way, but me, I don't think so.
All right, so I have a feeling outside of matchmaking, because I know what this answer to the question would be otherwise. If you could change or add one thing to PvP, what would it be?
I'm actually going to surprise you here.
Oh.
I think PvP as a whole, like, I log on to Destiny and was like, you know what, let's play some PvP. As a whole, I think it could, because this is supposed to be a friend game, right? It's supposed to be better with friends. If we had more settings in private matches.
Oh. That
So-
is a different answer. More settings for private matches.
So you think about it. What if we could lock everyone to randomized blue weapons, right? You don't have to go through a third party you don't have to buy blue weapons, randomize until you get blue weapons, or go through any other loopholes. You just click on a setting, randomize blue weaponry, right? And it just gives you a gun to use. You don't have to buy it. It just gives you the gun to use for that private match. Whenever you load in, like Team Scorched, it gives you a Scorch Cannon. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to hold on to it. You don't have to dismantle it after. It just gives it to you. What if we all loaded in with Kavavstovs, right?
Mhm.
What if we set it, instead of Team Scorch, it's Team Kavavstovs. We all load in with that. Or we could turn off abilities. We can change the percentage of cooldown rate on supers and abilities themselves. We could do so many more things. We could host in-game tournaments more often. We could do more stuff for charity. We could do so much more. Logging on with your friends for randomized Rumble could be so much better.
Yeah, so almost like a Fortnite creative in a way.
Kind of, like that. Overwatch has their own thing. I understand because of security purposes, perhaps it's not the best idea to allow us to, go in and completely edit everything. Slowly start introducing more options. Let us choose any map we want. Maybe not put them in the rotations, keep the rotation fresh, because I feel like if there's too many maps in rotation for normal PvP match made, then it's just going to feel like, oh, I'm never getting my favorite map. Every season, take a few out, put a few in, kind of keep the balance. Let people explore all the maps, which I think they're doing okay at the moment. My favorite map is Burnout. So obviously, I'm particularly happy that this map has stayed in the game for so long. I think private matches can really make the PvP side of the game healthier.
This is the surprise question. But you get the reins to Bungie HQ, and they just say, all right, in a couple seasons, you just get to decide whatever we make. What do you either make the season about? What do you add? Like, what would you do if you were just handed Bungie?
What?
I understand. It's a little bit of a confusing question. But essentially, if you could pick a topic for like a season, so would you want a Braytech themed season? Would you just want a season based around PvP? Or maybe a season based around trials? Or I don't know, if you just wanted to screw the seasons and just add 45 PvP maps, what would you do?
It may be a little bit of a cliche answer, but yeah, season of the health, just revamp everything. I know people have said it on Twitter like many times. People have said it on YouTube many times, but I agree. That is what I would do. Let's make 5 more new PvP maps. Let's make 2 more strikes. Let's add in another dungeon. Let's make a raid layer, maybe not a full-blown raid for a season, right? Let's save that for something bigger, a bigger release, right? A little bit healthy to spice things up. Maybe add in a secret passageway in Root of Nightmares or something that leads on to I don't know, anything. The imagination is yours. Rework the vendors a little bit. Let's do some stuff for normal Crucible. And what if we got let's say Rose, right? Let's say you do competitive. What if we had an Adept Rose? What if we got like some sort of Crucible cipher for playing 10 competitive matches or something? I know, 10 matches. But it would incentivize more playing the game.
So almost add more content and more reason to play.
Loot and cosmetics. That's what we want. We want cosmetics mainly. I love cosmetics. The fact that they're doing Trials flawless shaders now, that's one of the best things, in the recent TWABs.
Okay, so you just take it all and just go, all right, we're just gonna add stuff.
Yeah, why not?
Add stuff.
New stuff, not old stuff. New stuff. That's the thing.
All right. Well, is there any other things, like burning things, that you just want to say to the world of, I really hate this thing in the meta, or like, I have you guys seen this cool thing that somebody did? I don't care. Just any other burning questions or thoughts?
Not really. I mean, I recently got my Google Home to do a well skate for me, but you can check that out on my Twitter. I had seen, I forgot who it was. I hope someone knows who it is so they could like link them and shout them out. But I was scrolling through Twitch and someone was trying to solo flawless Shattered Throne with voice activated commands. Like they could use their mouse, but that was it. Like they could look with their mouse. They couldn't shoot with it. They couldn't WASD keys, none of that. It was all other voice commands. And I thought that was cool. I saw them get up to the ogre boss and like get the boss almost, dead. I was like, what? This is sick. That's what originally gave me the idea when I've found this little Google Home sitting in my closet that hasn't been touched for years. But I wish I remembered the name, because I would totally say go check him out, because he seemed like a really cool streamer.
Yeah, I'll try to find him and post-production. Plug whatever you got, whatever socials you have, and that's pretty much all
Twitter.
I got for you. What?
Twitter. That's it.
Okay.
Twitter.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm Bird app.
Gotta love it. Great place to have mental health.
Oh, 100%.
It's great. I would recommend it to anybody in emotionally unstable state. Just fantastic. Anyways, thank you, HAXX'S, for coming in. I will get this sliced up and put together and smacked on the internet.
Awesome.
Yep. All right, man.
Oh, the recording's over. Oh.
So, that was my interview with HAXX'S. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Yeah, I'm not gonna ever be good at PvP. I found it funny how concerned he was, though, with the community side of PvP. I know a lot of people expect high-tier players to just not care and want to just roll over people all the time, but it was actually quite the opposite. He seemed to really care about low-tier players, wanting them to learn and get better so that they can be on his skill level. I found it also funny how between Joe and HAXX'S, both of them were concerned with the lack of loot and things that you can get in PvP. So I, once again, found it interesting how between both skill brackets, they all want loot in the game. And I think that's also very important. And they both corroborated the fact that this game is very close to being extremely good and very balanced. Just a couple of tweaks away, maybe. I really hope they're right. Again, I started this series because I didn't know. So if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. And once again, go follow HAXX'S on Twitter. But other than that, I gotta interview a god tier player now. Ugh. This is way harder than it should be because my internet footprint is like as if somebody walked on the ceiling. Like it's there, but it's just in the wrong place. So I'll try to get that lined up. I don't know. Anyways, I'll line up that interview somehow and I'll get that episode out. Although it may take more than a week this time. I've been trying to make these weekly releases and maybe dropping something in between. However, next week I might just release another video and then do the interview after that because I have a camp and it's gonna be hard to line that interview up anyways to get people to respond to my DMs. So I'll try my best, but we'll have to see. Thank you all so much for watching and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!
Your time is up.